Hi, I'm Graham Newark.
And I'm Andrew Cameron. And on this week's episode of Ignite News, we're going to be taking a look at some spooktacular stories.
Let's check it out. Looking for affordable food options on campus? Mohawk's Sustainability Office might have just the thing. Cassie Apperlew has the story.
Just outside G-Wing on Mohawk's Fennel campus lies the solution to students' grocery store blues. The local food farm stand runs every Wednesday from noon to 5 and offers Mohawk students a chance to stock up on fresh, local, and affordable food choices. Sustainability Coordinator Ashley Packer says the project is part of Mohawk Sustainability's wider efforts to give students access to local foods and healthy choices.
So we go through a local foods distributor, so they're called 100 Kilometer Foods. They're based out of Toronto, and they act as a distributor for local farms. So everything that we get is from within 100 kilometers of Toronto, which is a really great way for us to be able to support our local farmers.
The local food farm stand sells their produce at cost, which means less financial strain on students. Right now, the stand is offering fresh fruits, vegetables, and baked goods that make for convenient on-the-go snacks, as well as larger grocery items to take home. These 3 Mohawk students say that they can taste the difference between food sold at the stand and food sold in grocery stores.
Grocery stores don't compare to actual grown food in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Local stuff. It's all processed and so much more expensive, and it's insane.
The local food farm stand runs until the end of November, so there's still some time left for students to take advantage of this option. For Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Cassie Apperlew.
The city of Hamilton offers a wide variety of different foods to try. From delicious poutines to delectable bonbons, Hamilton is not short of delicious food. Our reporters went and took a look at what food they could find in the city of Hamilton. Malika Aldridge has the story.
After making 18 stops around Ontario, Poutine Feast finally made its way to Hamilton for a 4-day event. The Poutine Feast featured 50 kinds of poutine from award-winning food vendors who specialize in poutine, including the Upper Deck Express, Groovy Gravy, and Asian Invasion poutine trucks. Each truck had its own unique way of making poutine. The Upper Deck Express won people over with its fully loaded meat lovers poutine, and a trio combo that allowed people to try samples from 3 different kinds of poutine. Paige Laverne from the Upper Deck Express explains how trophies are awarded to poutine trucks.
We have lots of trophies. So every Sunday we have a competition, and there's the MC, and he chooses judges from the crowd to then taste all the different poutines and then pick their favorite, and then the winner at the end of the event gets a trophy.
The Asian Invasion poutine truck attracted people with its Halloween decor and Asian-style poutine. Groovy Gravy also featured tasty tater tot toppings for the potato lovers. Not only did people indulge in poutines, they also tried authentic Latin foods from the Mexican and Colombian stand. People could also try fried food favorites from the fish and chips truck. Small business vendors were also present at the event. The Country Magnolia booth showcased original household items. Crystal Young of Country Magnolia explains how items are created.
I create a design on the computer, and then I print it off onto a special paper called sublimation paper, and it's also used with sublimation ink. I then wrap it around the tumbler or a coffee mug, and it has a chemical balance that once the heat hits it, it becomes permanent.
Face painting and temporary tattoos were also available to those looking for a Halloween-inspired look. Poutine Feast will be returning next summer for another tour. To keep up to date, visit poutinefeast.com. For Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Malika Aldridge.
A new spot to grab something sweet has opened up on Lock Street. Madame Bonbon, a small batch chocolatier focused on both tasty and eye-catching treats, opened its doors on October the 14th. The store offers a variety of flavors, from salted caramel to Earl Grey cream. The opening of the store was a long time coming, as the founder of the business, Sarah Wiseman, said.
I really started operating during COVID, and I was operating out of a cafe in the east end of Hamilton, and it was mostly shut down due to COVID, and they were only open Saturday and Sunday, which gave me access to the kitchen all through the week. And then they have been just slowly adding days, and they've been opening more, and my business was getting busier, so we were kind of like crowding each other. So it just became inevitable that I needed my own space.
Besides bonbons, Wiseman also creates a variety of chocolate bars and small sweets. All the chocolates are handmade on-site using fresh ingredients, interesting flavor combinations, and hand-painted candy shells. The store focuses on quality over quantity and goes to great lengths to provide delicious treats for their customers. Newcomers to Madame Bonbons had high praise for the new business.
Normally, when I go to other chocolate stores, I'm not as drawn to the little individual ones that they might have. But here, they're so beautiful and unique, and they really do a very good job of explaining the flavors. And I appreciate the work that goes into making each one unique.
Aside from it being so cozy and comfortable on the inside, one of the first things that drew me in was the smell. It smells so sweet, and it just makes you want to eat everything that's there. And they have all the cute little bars on display. I love seeing those, and you could just tell everything was made so carefully and so unique, and it just looks so perfect. I just wanted everything.
Madame Bonbon is located at 165 Locke Street South and is open 11 to 6 Wednesday to Sunday. From Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Callum O'Malley.
Mohawk students came to the Arnie to get hypnotized during a Halloween event. Carly Baker has the story.
On October 27th, Mohawk students were invited to the Arnie to celebrate Halloween with peers. The Spooky Scary Scalibration tickets were sold for $5, which included a magic show and live music from DJ Junaid. As students arrived, they were greeted by staff handing out candy as they entered the room decorated with cobwebs and colorful lights. Students filled the seats as they waited for the magic show to begin.
I actually am looking forward to the hypnotist. I looked him up before. He is so fun, and I'm so excited. I hope I get picked to be hypnotized by him.
The mentalist Savio Joseph was a finalist on Canada's Got Talent. He specializes in mentalism, hypnotism, and magic tricks. Joseph put on a magic show for the students and picked random people out of the crowd to help complete his tricks. Many of the students were seen raising their hands, wanting to be picked as an assistant. Joseph ended his performance by hypnotizing several volunteers.
I think college university students just bring this different energy versus a corporate audience where, it's a little bit more of a tough cookie to crack, but the energy is just unmatched whenever I come to these kind of shows.
After Joseph's act, free food was available for students to grab in a buffet style. To conclude the night, DJ Junaid set up an act of his own. Junaid played a personalized mix of music for students to dance along to. From Mohawk College Journalism, I am Carly Baker.
The Mohawk Student Association organized a trip to Kenneth Wonderland for a few scares. Julian Orlando has the story.
Around 40 Mohawk students arrived in the park around 6:30 p.m. and split to enjoy different attractions. The place was decorated with giant skulls, pumpkins, and monsters to give visitors a spooky feeling. The park also opened several haunted houses where students had more than one scare. Apart from the spooky theme, the park also had its regular attractions such as the Leviathan or Cyclone. Mohawk student Santiago Martinez explains how he enjoyed the experience.
Oh, I think it's terrific, and more on these days. I just finished midterms and I was really stressed about them. And I see the poster of going to Wonderland for $20. It's real economic and it's a way to meet new people.
Haley Harris, student lead and MSA events programmer, explained the reason for the event.
So I think everybody being able to get out and socialize and meet with people, just have at events that are just generally fun. You can't really go wrong with a trip to Kenneth Wonderland.
The students met the bus around 11:30 to return to Hamilton. For Mohawk College Journalism, I am Julian Orlando.
We all know that October is a great time to do fall activities. Our reporters took a look at both Diamond Farm and Haynes Corn Maze. Let's take a look.
The Haynes Corn Maze and Tiny Shop Bakery is celebrating its 23rd year of intricate family fun. A bakery sits in the front of the property offering pies and ice cream for visitors. The farm's largest feature may be a 20-acre maze, but it started off much smaller than that.
Kevin was watching the news one night, and we had 5 acres at the front of the farm that we didn't know what to do with, so we ended up cutting a corn maze out of that. So 23 years later, we have the giant corn maze.
Despite the original size of the attraction, there was no shortage of twists and turns.
Even with the smaller maze, it was more than challenging. You still had people out there for the better part of an hour in a 5-acre maze, so now it's, definitely gotten more interesting.
The current large attraction is made out of 12-foot tall golden yellow corn stalks that snake throughout the fields as guests try to find their way out. There are clues to collect within the maze that help solve this year's theme. Once your puzzle is solved, you can spin to win a prize. Folks often come back year after year to try out the ever-changing maze.
Yeah, we've solved it every year so far, so hopefully this one goes well too.
It's not just a corn maze at this farm. There are plenty of other fall activities available, like the Pick Your Own Pumpkin Patch, where folks can pick their perfect pumpkin. The farm also grows specialty small versions that are grown for the pumpkin and corn blasters found in front of the maze. The Haynes are adding an additional haunted sunflower attraction that will be open in the coming weeks. To the left of the venue, there are many farm animals to see and feed in the petting zoo portion, from pigs and their newborn piglets to rabbits, turkeys and chickens, little goats, and more. The Tiny Shop Bakery is another feature on this farm where folks can line up to buy pies and other goodies to bring home to their families. The farm also features 3 different escape rooms to pick your own adventure while you're at the farm. For Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Kimberly Iban.
Every fall, Diamond's Farm welcomes the community to its pumpkin patch. Entry to the farm costs $16 per person, and children under 2 years old have free entry. The farm offers more than just the opportunity to pick your own pumpkin.
Well, so we have like a wagon ride that takes you like around the escarpment. Then we have like the pick your own pumpkins, and then we have animals you can see, corn maze, and like a haunted house.
The pumpkins range in price depending on their size. Diamond's Farm also has a long family history attached to it.
So the farm was purchased by the Diamond family in 1887. So it's been in the farm for about 5 generations now who have worked and lived on the farm. It's been doing school tours since the 1950s and special events, same thing even before then. There's actually a wedding recorded here sometime in the 1940s as well.
Some other family-friendly activities include 2 playgrounds and a mini-putt course. The farm also has food available for purchase at the Diamond's food truck and sweets at the Apple Nook. Diamond's is a fully functioning farm, and visitors can even visit their market up the road to buy food grown at the farm as well as a variety of baked goods. Diamond's Farm is located at 416 Fallsview Road East in Dundas. For more information on the farm and the events it offers, visit www.diamonds.com. For Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Jamie Byers.
Mohawk students get all access to GO Transit, providing easier access to many cities in the GTA, plus we get a discount. Graham Newark has a story.
Something students depend on is a way to get to and from school. As many don't have their own way of transportation, a viable option is taking GO Transit, which offers bus and train routes to and from Hamilton daily. Students receive cheaper fares via their Presto cards, so taking advantage of this can really feel good on your wallet. Noah Martin, a University of Toronto student, knows all about taking GO Transit.
So it's so much easier, and it's cheaper than driving, which is very good for students because obviously students usually have tight budgets. So driving can be like a big monthly bill when you consider driving, the price of gas now, and insurance.
Hamilton has 2 GO stations, one of them being the Hamilton GO Center located in central downtown Hamilton. This is the busiest station in the city by far, as buses are seen entering and departing very often, but only offer limited commuter train routes during the week. On the other hand, West Harbour GO, located on Hamilton's waterfront, is quite the opposite. They offer hourly train routes even on the weekend, but more limited bus routes. As a result of this, Riley Paveo, a Mohawk graduate, is a little frustrated with GO Transit.
If I could take the train to get to Cambridge, I absolutely would. I hate my hour-long drive, and it just sucks sitting in traffic all the time. It's better for the environment to take a train. I know there are GO buses, but even then, it still would have to take another transfer to get to even where I want to go.
If you're just looking to escape and get some fresh air, or looking to visit friends and family outside of Hamilton, GO Transit is your best and cheapest bet. For Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Graham Newark. The New Steel is a documentary made by Mohawk College journalism students.
It looks at attempts by the city of Hamilton to become more welcoming of artists in a way to diversify the city's economy.
Let's take a look.
The Hammer, the ambitious city, Steel Town. Over a century of industrial steel manufacturing made Hamilton into the city that it is today, but in the past decade, that city has been changing. Stelco and DeFasco aren't the economic powerhouses they used to be, and around the city, you're bound to hear the phrase, art is the new steel. In the early 1900s, the cotton factory was a textile mill and part of Hamilton's booming industrial sector. The cotton factory has been converted into artist studios and offices. Robert Ziedler is the owner.
Hamilton art scene's at a very interesting point. I mean, it's growing, it's expanding, it's now become a destination. I mean, I remember talking to Craig Wells, who's one of the artists in the building, when he graduated from the arts program in Mac in the 70s. The question wasn't, are you going to leave Hamilton? The question is, where are you going? Like, nobody was staying. Like, it was all, if you're going to stay in the arts, seriously, you had to get out, you had to leave. There was just nothing going on here. While right now, there are a lot of young people coming out of the arts program who are staying in Hamilton because there is a lot growing here.
In the late 2000s, there was a shift. Artists who had left Hamilton to pursue their craft, like gallery owner Paul Elia, began seeing the city in a whole new light.
This is where I grew up, and I knew that the prices were way more affordable than Toronto. So we made the decision to move here, and I was thinking that because it would be cheaper to live here, that maybe I would have the opportunity to make art and try and make a go of it as a living.
But the affordability that led artists like Paul back to the city is quickly evaporating.
Usually the artists are moving to whatever part of the city is still affordable, and then everyone kind of follows the artist there, and then it becomes not affordable, and then the artist moves to the next affordable place.
Annette Paymont is a programmer at the Cotton Factory and knows that affordability is extremely important to keeping Hamilton's art scene alive.
Artists need not only affordable housing, but they need a workspace also. If you think about this building and the different kinds of artists we have here, every artist requires a different kind of a space. So being able to access that kind of an environment and being able to afford to access that kind of environment, and then the materials to do your work, are all super important factors, right?
Some Hamilton artists have had to get creative with their workspaces. Mary Flynn opened the Back Alley Gallery in 2019, entirely in her own backyard.
I moved here 9.5 years ago, and it was a garage and just basically a dumping ground for everyone. Then I converted it.
Mary's artwork is connected to Hamilton's history through her artist father. This is a portrait Mary's father made out of folded foil.
My father did everything. He drew, he painted, he did sign painting, he did crafty things, he made things out of wood, he made purses, so it was just always there. It's an outlet for my creativity and my emotions and my feelings, and I just feel like it's something you just have to do. Once you get started, it's something that you get an idea and you're like, oh, I've got to try that out. And it evolves. It's never quite on paper what it is in my head, because then it just changes and grows. But I feel like I have to express myself through my art.
Whether or not art is a profitable business isn't the reason why Mary or Paul create.
I create art because I'm compelled to. For some reason, I don't think I would feel myself, I don't think I would feel fulfilled if I didn't. So it's just always something that's been in me, this urge to do it. I think it's the easiest way I can express myself. It feels like it comes out right that way, because sometimes words can be tricky and it doesn't come out right, but with art, it always kind of does.
So what's next for art in Hamilton?
I think that, Hamilton is a big spot for immigration, which is fantastic, and it will get the flavor, just like in the food, we get the flavor from all over the world. I think that will continue to happen in Hamilton as art, as we get more and more immigrants, people from different countries. They'll bring their ideas and their own landscapes to Hamilton, and I think that's a great way for people to get an appreciation of Hamilton landscapes too. So, just to contrast and compare, our waterfalls are some of the most beautiful in the world, but there's other beautiful waterfalls. So people come here and bring their ideas of their country. It allows us to appreciate our country more as well.
While the artists seem to have an optimistic vision of art's future in Hamilton, Robert was a bit more cautious.
My concern about Hamilton is that the art scene is a bit like an orchid. You have to be very careful with it. It needs the right temperature and the right moisture and the right amount of sunlight and it has to be looked after. And it's not something that can be, used and abused and thrown out on a winter's day and it'll be just fine, don't worry about it. And so what I worry about is, if the city of Hamilton doesn't continue to focus on the art scene and forgets about it, it could, you could see artists leaving for other places.
If art is the new steel, it too might fall by the wayside as the city moves forward onto something new.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Ignite News. I'm Graham Newark.
And I'm Andrew Cameron. Stay classy, Hamilton.